Hi everyone, my name is William Wong, and today I'm going to be talking about how I got into UCSD and UC Berkeley and USC. And my other decisions are in my college decision reaction video, so if you want to see them, go down below.
So before we start, I want to go over my demographics. I feel like demographics are definitely very important and something to consider, especially in college decisions. For me, I am a first generation student. I'm also low income and I'm Asian American. And I go to a public charter school that's geared towards low income students and first generation students and getting them to college. So first I'm going to be going over my stats. There's a lot of stigma around it. And I just want to say that stats definitely do not define a person. Having a stronger story, kind of showing, or how you present yourself in your applications are probably more stronger than your stats. I have an unweighted GPA of a 3.95 and a weighted GPA of a 4.23. And I took a total of 9 AP classes. And I feel like GPA matters just because it just shows like the effort you put in the past 4 years. But my SAT was canceled the morning of the SAT, so I couldn't really take it, so I didn't submit any scores. I focused on the long term and being in clubs long term just because I felt like that showed that I was committed to these clubs. Also looking down on my notes below, but first I did Model UN for years. And I had leadership positions. I started as a media officer and then vice president and then president. I basically was able to really teach the students and kind of guide them throughout the process of Model UN. It was an activity that has a lot more students who are of higher socioeconomic status, and it definitely costs a lot of money to be a part of Model UN. So as like a first generation student, we were able to kind of manage the resources that we had within our community and go to these conferences and kind of just keeping an open mind and kind of seeing what the world's like in the real world with real world issues. Our Model UN Club was able to host diplomacy events with the school next to us, with our local diplomacy council. And we were kind of able to also create our own conference where we raised around $500 for a nonprofit in our area. Staffed almost 6 conferences throughout the past 4 years. So I think having just different leadership positions taught me a lot. And I was also a part of Interacts Club for all 4 years, and I became president. I'm co-president with my twin sister my senior year. And basically throughout the club, we kind of informed our members about different volunteer events, as well as created like a familial warmth amongst our members. And we tried to have different club bonding sessions, especially since we were president while our school was completely online. So it was definitely hard to like run a volunteer club online that was mainly geared towards in-person events in the past. And then another club I was partaking a lot was robotics. I started sophomore year, but basically I was like the lead photographer. I would take a lot of, it's an unofficial position, but I took a lot of pictures and videos at like FRC competitions or just club meetings in general. And I managed the website for some time as well as the Instagram, and I would just like put out new pictures on how the robotics team was doing. I served as a FLO coach, and throughout my time in robotics I also filmed a lot of videos, and some were turned into like recap videos. And for my next activity, I did the Triad Music Honor Society, where I became co-vice president my senior year, and during my junior year I co-founded it with all of the members who founded it during my junior year. In my senior year, when I was VP, I led a committee called Tunes Thursday, and we basically educated, we would research about different genres and like the famous artists within that genre, and kind of research up their history and their impact they have in society today. And throughout this process, I learned a lot about different types of artists and different types of genres that I haven't listened to personally. And another club I was part of was Ecology Club. I was very passionate about the environment. I'm very passionate about marine life. So throughout, it was actually the first club I ever joined in high school. And we would just kind of recycle water bottles and aluminums and stuff and paper at our school. Like every Monday, we would just go to every classroom and kind of collect all of the recyclables. And we would also go around our school campus and like pick up trash. And we also had a couple of beach cleanups. So I was definitely a fun club to be a part of. Another clubs that I was a part of, the Rho Kappa Social Studies Honor Society and the National Honor Society. I joined Rho Kappa my junior year, and then I joined National Honor Society my senior year, just because NHS was very competitive in my school and had a really long process to be a part of. but I was very grateful to be part of both those honor societies. And then junior year, I also joined cross country. I wasn't the best, but I definitely learned a lot, and I loved running to the beach every day during practice. And for my awards, I wrote down I got a Diplomacy Champion Award. It was like a group award for the Sister Cities International Youth Leadership Summit. I was also AP Scholar. I put down a couple of awards that I won from MUN conferences, and I put down a scholarship that I won to go to China. It was like a half 75% tuition scholarship, but I ended up canceling it just because of COVID. And then since it was kind of uncertain whether or not it would be going on this year, I just decided not to go. So first lesson I learned was to not to be well-rounded. I feel like a lot of counselors and teachers teach kids to be well-rounded, and I feel like that's really toxic just because not everyone's like a public speaker, not everyone's a great athlete, and not everyone's a great artist. And I feel like when you do that, that's kind of toxic. I feel like when I was hearing that I needed to be well-rounded, it kind of made me feel like I needed to be perfect, which was kind of annoying, and I didn't really know what I was doing, so I just followed the idea of needing to be well-rounded. But that's just don't do that. Just because college applications want, or college admissions officers want students who are focused on a specific niche and are put all of their passion onto a couple of things rather than doing something that they're doing just because they think it would get them in college. Quality over quantity, especially for activities or different things that you're doing. And I feel like colleges would rather you do like a couple of passion projects than do a lot of activities that you don't really have like an in-depth analysis or a deep amount of participation in. I feel like even if you do a bunch of activities that you're not that passionate about, you'll still learn from them, and you'll still kind of unconsciously pick up new skill sets from like learning to use like spreadsheets. But another lesson is to kind of trust the process. I feel like I stressed out a lot. I feel like a lot of people say this, but I stressed out a lot, and I think I try to overcompensate, like because I was so worried that I wouldn't get into college. I was so worried about, I would just have thoughts of like me failing, and I use failure as motivation to be like, oh, like I'm gonna fail, or like I should do more. And I kept just saying I should, and I feel like I kind of overcompensated, and I kind of did that at the expense of my mental health and my physical health, but also my own free time. And I felt like I gave up a lot of free time just to get into a college, and I felt like that is something you should not do. Having a balanced life is really important. Yeah, just trust the process. Everything will work out. You'll end up where you need it to be. And it's about the process, not the result. And then the end goal is to get an education. Regardless, you're going to get an education no matter what you do. There's a lot of paths like community college, or you can go directly to a 4-year university. But there's so many paths to get an education that no matter what you do, you're still going to get it. So there's really no point worrying. And yeah, that completes my video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and good luck to everyone. But anyways, bye.